Hello and welcome to another video from oorail. In this video we're taking a look at the new Hornby BR rebuilt class W1. It's this 60700 and I believe the product code is OR3844. So we already have the W1, which was the 10,000, and this now is the post-war version of it in the BR line green with the early emblem. I got this because I thought it'd be kind of cool. Most of my steam locomotives are more this era than the big four, so I thought, well, I already had the W1. I did pre-order this direct from Hornby because I thought it would get more use in running sessions and stuff like that. But I did want the original W1 just because it was like a unique loco and it was pretty kind of cool. So there is another loco, a version of this between the W1 and 60700, and that is 10,000 in the kind of Eleanor Gartner blue with the kind of covers over the valve gear and stuff like that. I haven't bought that one. I didn't think it would get much use on my layout, so I went for the early BR version instead. So in this video what we're going to do is take a quick look inside the box, put it on the layout, give you guys a kind of look around, and then we'll do a series of tests on the layout. We'll run it in a little bit, and then we'll do a slow speed test, normal speed test, and then a very slightly faster speed test. What we'll also do is see how it looks compared to W1, and also take a quick look at maybe how many coaches and stuff like that it can haul. Alright, so let's see what's inside. Alright, so first off, this came pre-ordered direct from Hornby. It arrived earlier today for a DHL in the US, and first off, it was very well packed. It was actually in the exterior brown box, and then it was wrapped with not just bubble wrap, but also about a 2-inch thick foam piece, and that was rubber banded to the outside box. So they've gone from one extreme to another, but it got here in one piece, which is good. And on the back here you can see it's got a power class of 8P, and it has a whole bunch of interesting information on the back, as well as the usual Hornby diagram. So let's take a look inside. So the instruction booklet is exactly the same as the original W1. You can see there, gives you all the running in tips, the lubrication points, which is as expected around the valve gear. Again, if you don't want to use the unflanged wheels that probably sit up off the track, you can loosen those 2 screws and swap the wheels with the flanged ones. They'll work on radius, 3rd radius or better, so 3rd radius, 4th radius, or what I'm using here, probably 22-inch or 24-inch or better curves. I'm going to leave the flanged wheels on, or unflanged wheels on it for now, but we'll swap it in. If you think that the flange wheels are too high up off the track, you can loosen these screws, readjust it, and then put the screws back in. Should be fine. Tells you how to disconnect the tender, and some close coupling options, as well as the DCC chipping and so on, the brake rods. I never install the brake rods. They tend to get torn off on things like details like barrow crossings and stuff like that, so I tend to not to use those just because it'll just cause me pain later. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at the logo. So it's a usual block of ice. There's a bit of plastic sitting here, so hopefully there's no detailing parts falling off. But what I'm going to do is just hold this over the empty box so that if there are parts, they will fall into the box rather than get lost. And we have similar detailing pack that we got with the main W1. I'm going to set that aside. Obviously it doesn't have smoke deflectors, so there's no damage there. So far it looks all good. There's no bits hanging off of it or anything like that, so I'm going to remove it and place it on the track like so. It's interesting, they have these foam parts that have been glued on there to the packaging. It's a little bit more robust than some of the other packaging I have seen from Hornby. And we'll just close that back up and set it aside. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is make sure that's on the track properly, because it doesn't look like it is. And then we'll give you a close-up look at it on the track, and then we'll get it running around the layout. Alright, so it looks pretty nice. I haven't seen any problems with it. Everything is in pretty good order. So what we're going to do is just start running it around the layout and go from there. One thing I can tell you is the real wheels are sticking up a little bit, but not as badly as the original W1. I can give you a closer look at that. So you can see there, I can just about fit. This is about 1 millimeter thick under the wheels, so it's not too bad. But like I said, we will definitely fit the flanged wheels. But everything looks good, so what I'm going to do is just start running it in on the layout, and then we'll give you guys kind of maybe a comparison with the W1 and maybe the A4, and then see how it does on a slow speed test. Alright, so what I've done is I've lined the rebuilt W1 up with the original W1, as well as a Bachmann A4, just so you can get an idea of the size difference between the different locos. So what we'll do is change the camera angle so you can get a better look at it, and then what we'll do is do some slow speed testing of the rebuilt W1, some normal speed testing, and then we'll have it pull some coaches around the layout so you can get some shots of it around the layout. Overall, my initial thoughts on it, I've been playing around with it now for about an hour, and it seems to have a problem running at slow speeds. I had to put the Duette into high resistance mode. In high resistance mode it worked really well at slow speed, but just without high resistant mode it kind of was wanting to take off at a fairly fast pace. Other than that, couldn't find anything wrong with it. It's a really nice loco, and we'll show it to you from a couple of different angles. Alright, so what I've done is I've used a straight edge to line up the three locos at the buffers. We've got the A4 6008, which is Duette D. Eisenhower. We've got the rebuilt W1, which is 60700, and then we've got the original W1, which is 10,000. You will notice that the tender on the rebuilt version is the one without the corridor connection, and is a little bit smaller. It is closer to a looks to be closer to the A4 tender without the corridor connection on the back. You can obviously see there's a significant difference in length. The cab is bigger on the W1 compared to the A4, and you can see that it's also a little higher as well. The original W1 actually is a little bit longer. It's a couple of millimeters longer. The cab I think is smaller, but looks like the boiler is a lot longer compared to the rebuilt W1, and obviously the tender is larger. It has a lot more detail on the side here than you do with the rebuilt W1. The rebuilt W1 is a lot closer to the A4 than it is to the original W1. Alright, so what we're going to do next is basically just do some slow speed tests with the rebuilt W1, and then we'll show you it run around the layout with some coaches. Alright, so what we're going to do next is change the camera angle and redo some of those slow speed tests with the high resistant mode on, just so you can see it. Alright, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The W1 rebuilt W1 is a fantastic loco. It doesn't have those problems that the W1 had with making it around the layout and all that because of the width. And it will make your A4s look a little smaller than they did before. Alright, so that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time.